they're saying, you know, and we're incorporating that. So Modern Warfare 3 is about the fans in every aspect of the game. Modern Warfare 3 is big. I mean, we have that epic single-player campaign, and it's all about taking players to places they've never seen before, bringing it out of the outskirts into the heart of major cities. You're seeing the huge set-piece moments in these locations you never expect them. Well, our philosophy on the campaign has always maintained the same. It's like we never set out to say we're going to make X amount of hours of campaign time. We write a story, and the story really dictates the length. So, you know, that dictates where we're going in the world, what's happening, how long are those missions, because every mission is unique, because everyone has different pacing throughout the story. So our philosophy hasn't changed. The game's not finished yet, so I can't say it's X amount of hours, because we don't know. But, you know, that's our focus on campaign, because we look at gameplay hours on how many hours you're going to put into this game from a product-wide standpoint. You have a cinematic single-player campaign that tells a certain story. We don't want to artificially elongate that. We want it to tell the story it's going to tell. And then that's where we really blow out Spec Ops, of allowing you to have additional missions that are outside the story, that are just all about playability, replayability, and fun. And that's where we focus all that stuff. So we feel like, oh, you know, we really wanted to do this, but it doesn't fit in the story. We don't cram it in the story. That's why we created Spec Ops, is because it gives a home for that place to live. And then we added on survival to give you even more playability outside, like, okay, here's your objectives. Now just jump in that map and play it endlessly until you die with the different waves of enemies coming in. And then, of course, multiplayer. What's really cool this time is, in Modern Warfare 2, Spec Ops was all about, you know, taking single-player moments. It had a few unique ones and crafting missions around that. Now we're bringing that into Spec Ops, but you can also play survival mode on all the multiplayer maps. So it's giving you more playability out of every location in the game, and still keeping unique locations just to Spec Ops. But that's single player. Spec Ops was something we introduced in Modern Warfare 2 that this is the Spec Ops we've always wanted. This is what we were building up to. This is the climax of Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 3. So we're bringing in all the stuff you love for multiplayer. Matchmaking, progressive ranking. You can unlock kill streaks. You can call in Delta squads to give you cover. You can, buy claymores, buy weapons, buy upgrades, change your tactics on the fly as the enemy changes theirs. It's constant waves of enemies. And that's just a survival mode. We still have the classic mission mode. There's a bunch of really cool missions that you outside the story. With the survival mode, increasingly difficult waves of enemies, constantly unlock, rank up. So you have a Spec Ops rank and you have a multiplayer rank. They're completely separate. And that's, that's part of that big vision of what we had for Spec Ops coming out of Modern Warfare 2, incorporating a lot of that fan feedback. And then multiplayer is just a beast in itself. I mean, for a lot of us, especially guys like me, that's what I'm playing days and days and days on end. And I'm talking gameplay hours. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of gameplay hours. So, every little detail is important. It's early yet because we're still making the game, and I want to wait till I confirm stuff that is like, the final iteration of it for multiplayer, so we're not diving in deep yet, but there's so much there that we came on Modern Warfare 2. I mean, I've said a little bit of it already, and, talking about the stuff that we're polishing up. We're taking out Commando, we're taking out one-man army, we're taking out stuff like that, and from a philosophy standpoint, I look at it as we're building up from Call of Duty 4's base in terms of multiplayer. It's all about that very simplistic, gun-on-gun, infantry, fast-paced combat. And then, bringing the stuff that we loved from Modern Warfare 2 that worked really well, and then bringing the stuff we loved from Call of Duty 4 that worked really well, and just polishing it up into that core, end of the day, it all comes down to that core, simple gunplay. Making sure that's tight, polished, and perfect, and everything else is balanced around that. Well, in the campaign, there's a lot of new stuff in all aspects of the game, but in the campaign specifically, the conflict is moving in the major cities, and when you're fighting in the streets in New York, the tactics you would use change. And when the tactics you would use change, the gameplay changes. And it really spawns new features like the dual scope system. So the dual scope system is all about having two scopes on your weapon on both rails. So as you're clearing in the open streets, you flip up the ACOG or the magnifying scope, taking guys down long range, kicking a door, now you have to clear rooms. You're going to fold down that magnifying scope. Now you have an EOTech or a red dot. That's your close to medium range optic. Now you're clearing out guys in that room, changing your gameplay style on the fly based on how the environment's changing without picking up another weapon. The XM25 it's a grenade launcher that's being used by Delta operators in the field now. That big scope you see, is actually a computer which allows you to laser target. So if a guy's hiding in a window of a concrete building or behind a concrete barrier, lays that target point, then shoot above it, and that scope actually programs the round to explode 1 meter past the cover point, and it will fire down, killing whoever's below it. It's super awesome in single player. Well, we've moved on from the Modern Warfare 2 engine in general, not just from the graphics renderer. We've done a lot of stuff in the audio, we've done a lot of stuff all across the board, but it's a build up from that engine to add in all the new stuff that we're doing in Modern Warfare 2. A lot of it has to do with advancing in our streaming tech to allow us to get to the level of scale in these levels like we've never done before. I mean, you're fighting throughout all of New York City. One moment you're boots on the ground fighting through the streets, and you're in a helicopter flying through the skyline to allow us to get to that scale. But most importantly, from a gameplay standpoint, you have to maintain those core philosophies. You can get bigger, but you have to maintain that 60 frames per second. Never drop below that. That is what sells our cinematic intensity. Most importantly, that's what sells the super tight, smooth gun controls. And at the end of the day, that's what makes you good at the game. That's what makes you have fun, is having smooth ability to put bullets down range, lock on the guys quickly. So we have to maintain that. We're adding a lot of stuff for the audio engine to give situational awareness to the player. So we're doing audio tweaks like bullet whiz by. So when you're getting pop shots from a sniper, if he misses you, you need to be able to tell where that bullet's coming from purely by the sounds and the effect of that. And so all that little stuff, to the minor detail for situational awareness, to the much bigger thing that you may never notice on the back end, but is allowing you to have that scale and smooth gameplay. In Modern Warfare 3, I've been trying to reach out to our PC guys. We had some of the guys come out to the studio a few weeks ago. We have them here. We brought them here to E3 so they can see the stuff we're showing here. We're putting a lot of focus there to make sure that our PC community has all the bells and whistles. For the guys who have the Power Horse machines, that they can crank it up and enjoy the game. Everyone knows from our standard, it's very important for us on the PC to make sure we have a solid min-spec base so that the majority of our PC users can enjoy the game out of box, running smooth, exactly how they expect it. That's very key for us because you'd be surprised how that can easily be overlooked, but we're making sure that PC is up and running from day one and it's running smooth on min-spec and beyond throughout the entire development process. Now, as you get later on in the campaign, or in the development cycle, you get to the point where you start focusing on PC-specific features, because it's the one platform out of Xbox 360, PS3, and PC that has specific things that go only into that version. So, that stuff comes a little later. I can't confirm anything yet, but right now we're having the conversations about dedicated servers, mod tools, and post-launch support. I can't give you an answer yet of what will be included. In Modern Warfare 2, we added IWNet, which was all about matchmaking, with the plan to eventually add in dedicated servers as a thing. My ideal philosophy on the PC is have matchmaking for that, for the mass. Have matchmaking for the guys who want to just jump in, hit play game, and start enjoying and enjoy that. But let's not lose that dedicated core audience who wants the dedicated server experience. So we're looking at ways on how we can incorporate that into Modern Warfare 3. We're listening a lot to our PC guys who have been very vocal since Modern Warfare 2 about what they want to see come back to our versions of the franchise. Modern Warfare 3 will be coming out on Xbox 360, PS3, and especially PC on November 8th, 2011.